Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Boss, my fellow HVAC colleagues, and our distinguished guests. I appreciate time to speak today in support of the Conceding Our Veterans Exposure Now and Necessitating Training Act, also known as the Covenant Act, legislation to ensure that our nation's veterans can receive the benefits they deserve after being exposed to toxic substances in the course of their service. Mr. Chairman, protecting the quality of life of our veterans is a top priority of this Congress, as you've stated this morning, and particularly for my colleagues on the House Veterans Affairs Committee, where I chair the Disability Assistance and Memorial Affairs Subcommittee. One such veteran that I have the privilege of representing, Master Sergeant Brian Graves of Virginia Beach, flew missions over the Middle East for the United States Air Force, and today he lives with breathing problems after inhaling jet fumes and being exposed to other toxins during his service. The Covenant Act will dramatically streamline the VA benefits process for thousands of veterans like Master Sergeant Graves. For instance, the Covenant Act would concede exposure to certain airborne hazards based on service in certain locations throughout the Middle East and beyond, ensuring that the burden of proof of exposure is lifted from the veteran. It would also recognize certain illnesses, such as respiratory conditions and cancers, as presumptive for disability benefit purposes. It would establish a standardized compensation and pension examination and medical opinion process for non-presumptive toxic-related conditions claimed by eligible former service members. And it would also establish a standardized medical training curriculum for airborne hazard-related compensation and pension evaluations, establishing continuity in the VA determinations, whether that exam is conducted from coast to coast, from Loma Linda to here in Hampton Roads. And the Covenant Act would provide its covered veterans with access to Priority 6 Veterans Health Administration hospital care, medical services, and nursing home care. Mr. Chairman, between June 2007 and February 2021, we know that 13,900 veterans filed disability benefit claims related to toxic exposure. Of those nearly 14,000 veterans, only 4,000 claims were granted. And that is simply unacceptable, and we cannot allow history to repeat itself. Veterans like myself watched our peers who served in Vietnam wait decades for the benefits they deserved. The recent veterans who served in the Middle East, Southwest Asia, East Africa, and the Philippines need our help today. They are hurting, Mr. Chairman, and sometimes they are dying from these conditions. Congress must not continue to neglect them in their time of need, and we must recognize these measures of assistance and care are a cost of war. That is why I urge my colleagues to join me in supporting the Covenant Act, a comprehensive approach to securing benefits for those veterans exposed to toxic substances overseas. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.